Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. Correct your posture, sit back, grab your favorite beverage, and enjoy the show.
Today we have special guest Mr. Mark Morrison on. Mr. Mark, how are you?
I'm doing fine, gentlemen. How y'all doing?
Doing great.
On top of the world, you may be the most educated man in squirrel dogs. I see all the diplomas behind you. Like we normally have like plaques of like from a local squirrel hunt, but
Well, I
you
mean,
actually
if
have
it make
diplomas.
y'all feel better while we're getting started here, I'll show you where some of my stuff. You'll have one here.
You still got them things?
Well, show them a cat that I help.
Well, whenever you're moving, it doesn't. Oh man, look at all
Wow.
those.
That's all.
That's from the
That's all. That's all. Four folks.
that's from the 40s.
No,
We're going to let you get sit still. It goes cutting out when you go to walking.
there's one there. 2014. That ain't too long.
What'd you say? 1914?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a big podcast today. We have a Squirrel Dog Historian. We've got a puppy raffle. We're going to hit some hot topics. We got a big one in. We should have one of the bigger ones we have. So we're excited about this one. Shane, do you want to hit the part I normally hit at the beginning?
Sure, fellas. If you like us, or if you just want to help a brother out, hit like, subscribe, let people know that we're on here talking crazy stuff, and we would appreciate it if you would just follow us. It doesn't cost a single thing.
Yep. You older folks that don't understand what subscribe means, that's $0. That's just following us. So,
Well,
all right.
you got all kind of age jokes tonight, don't you?
Hey, you know,
How old are you?
25.
Oh shit! I got a son that's 15 years older than you
No,
almost. All
I,
right,
I'm I'm
come
I'm
on.
finna be 40. Finna be 40.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna
So,
say if you 25, you done lived a hard 25, from what I'm saying.
Yeah.
hey, I've been rode hard and put up wet. But anyway, so Mr. Mark,
Yes,
what what year did you start hunting? Competition hunting?
competition hunting probably 90. No, in the late 90s, maybe 99, somewhere around there. NKC
99.
hunts around here.
Now, if my memory stands correct, and I might be way off, your first squirrel dog was a blackmouth cur. Is that right?
Well, at ignorance, that's what he was registered as originally with the NKC because he was just a mixed breed, unknown ancestry dog. So my silly self thought because he had a black roof in his mouth, I thought, well, maybe he might be a black cur. And then
well,
when I started going to a few hunts, I saw some blackmouth curs, knew he was not one of them. Um,
Okay.
and so I sent his papers back in and said, hell, we're just going to call him a tree and cur because that's what he was.
I got you. See, for whatever reason, and I don't know why my mind works like this, I read that on Squirrel Dog Central 20 years ago or something. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
Uh,
or more. Yeah, now,
and,
yeah.
but I still remember it. But like, my boss could mess.
Yep, you froze up on me, Shane. Can you hear me? Coach, you there? Copy. Can you hear me? All right,
I'm back.
all right, you're back. I was gonna say we lost
Sorry.
you there.
Hey, I yeah, I'm in the sticks, and I rearranged my Starlink and I rearranged my router. Um, but since the leaves have got on the trees, it has really messed up my service, and I'm probably going to move some stuff around and just or cut some trees down.
We went through that for years when we
But
lived
anyway,
out east of Canton near Rattlers Ferry, that off north end of the reservoir, that we had no satellite internet. It wasn't worth a flip.
Yeah, when he cuts out, we holler, "What about you, Van?"
this is usually fairly good. But yeah, yeah, we had a lot of issues with Van from he's the president of the Kimber Breeders Association, and he is we had all four of them guys on here. Van from the Kimber Breeders Association, Dale from the Stevens Kerr Breeders Association, uh, Ducey, and what's the gentleman that's the new OMCBA? What's his name?
Gosh,
Cody,
I see his
the new
face. They
president.
were
The
just
new
young
president.
boys when I
I
was
called
coming
him
up.
by the wrong name the first time, so I'm probably not the.
Man, I apologize for getting his name, but anyway, we had all four of the presidents on, and Van was cutting out a lot. So now whenever I cut out, that's kind of like the running joke. How about you, Van? And anyway,
We got a guy right here. You know Stephen Bradham?
Yeah, I know old son.
Can you
Yes,
see? Can you see this on the screen right here?
No,
This
do
says the
y'all with
man,
your
the
glasses
legend
on?
himself, Sir Marcus. You don't see the comment at the bottom of the screen?
No, I
they're
got the
small,
phone
Casey.
turned sideways.
Cody,
I was just
I
looking at.
called you Casey. They're small, Cody.
They're small.
Yeah, they're like he's looking at it through a cell phone.
Oh,
So
Yeah,
okay.
like,
yeah,
I'll
I'm just
read
on
your
my little
comment.
old cell phone. Trust me, if all we got better to talk about tonight is Stephen Babelham, then y'all, I don't know that I can help you.
We got Eric Wiley on, me, Mark, Danny, and old
Now, I've been
Mingler.
knowing old Percy Creek, Eric Wally for a long time. He was, when I first started going, we got my first cur dog, Mountain Cur. I would go down to Mincer's house, and Eric would come back up there. We'd stay at James's and go hunt around his grandpa's house over there. Oh,
Hmm.
Percy Creek.
Yeah,
Percy Creek.
Percy Creek. Hey, will you try
Yeah,
something for me? Will you try to take yours off of Wi-Fi and see if we get a little better connection? It seems to be cutting out for some reason.
take the phone off a while.
Yeah, I don't know why, but it's cutting out
There he
when you
goes.
talk. We hear about every third word.
Yeah, hang on just a second. Who y'all high maintenance?
Well, I just want to be able to hear you. I know
I
y'all
heard
old
that
folks and
loud and clear.
technology. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Very good radio, guys.
And that,
Is that better?
it don't sound better to me, but
It's not better on our end.
It's not better on our end. For some reason, it's we hear a third word. I don't understand why, but I was just trying something new. What about how about you, Van? Yeah. So, all right. Well, yeah, we have Mr. Mark on. He's definitely a squirrel dog historian. While we're talking about Eric, you ain't got any good stories that we could talk about Eric right quick, do
the fit for public consumption, probably not. No,
you? Not publicly, huh?
no, no. Like I said, Eric and I wanted to get together. You remember? I remember years, but yeah, and I he came up, stayed with me out there. I think around Christmas time, between
Yeah.
Christmas and New Year's, and we hunted. Um, yeah, pretty much like 5, 6 days straight. Had
Hmm.
really good hunts.
Yeah. Hey, is he cutting out on your end still, Shane?
Yes.
I only get about every fourth word. I don't know. Gonna be a good 1/3 of a story. I don't know how we're gonna hear it any better unless I don't know what we gotta do. For some reason on speakerphone it's catching about every fourth word that you say.
Yeah, I don't know what the solution is.
I don't really neither.
I guess go back to Wi-Fi.
Go back to Wi-Fi.
I
Boy,
could
y'all
hear him earlier.
high maintenance folks. So,
Yeah.
Well, we just want to be able to hear
goodness
the
gracious.
information good. Blake says, "Do you do sign language?"
Smoke signals.
I could do one. It's so yeah.
How about now?
What about you, Van?
Hey, if do you think it's possible that he might could call your phone and you have him on?
We can mute him. Well, yeah, but then he's going to be off of his phone.
True. Well, no, I mean like not even have it coming through our streamer, our streaming platform. Just have it through your cell phone on speakerphone. Because I could hear him like whenever you called him before we went live. I could hear him.
Yeah, I could try that. If he'll get when he gets back on, or I can call him and we can just do it that direction. Back in the 90s, what we see here? Back in the 90s, we sure had a lot of fun. Mark was a hoot to hunt for sure. Apache smoke signals.
We're gonna get it lined out in a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Like I moved my satellite, my receiver. I put it on a barrel and elevated it, and I moved my router inside. It's still going through a wall, but all that should be better. I done a speed test,
Yeah.
and I still lost service. And this is the only reason why I have it out here is specifically for this.
You might have to put it on top of it.
Well, there's more trees.
Oh, on top.
Yeah, like I have it stretched out as far as I can go, because it's like a hole. I might have to move my camper, which I don't want to, or get a longer cord. I might do that. Just get a longer cord if they make them. I'm sure they do. And
Yeah.
and run it like that.
There he is. What about you, Van? Can you hear us now?
yeah, you hear me?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, I said I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know if it's something going on with the speakerphone. Shane, do you have your vent going in the background?
I hear something running in the background.
I do too.
The only thing I have is a refrigerator. No,
Okay. Yeah, I think you're a little better now. All right. So, have you heard of this hunt, Battle of the Curves, that they're finna have?
Yeah, actually, I saw the advertisement for it and made it the homepage picture on the Island Original Mount Curry, just so everybody know about it coming up.
Speaking of that, aren't you a moderator on the iHunt page?
Yeah, me and Tim Cope and I think Adam O'Donnell, or he's still on there occasionally.
So somebody that we mutually know got kicked off and got back on for like 2 days and got kicked off again.
He got a name.
Jeremy Gardner.
Well,
Interesting.
I don't know who kicked him off.
I know somebody that might could add him back, but
I can't kick anybody off, and I can't kick you like that.
it says it's going to look like Battle of the Handlers. instead of Battle of the Curds. Apparently, there's some good handlers going to be there at that Battle of the Curds hunt.
I mean, that's pretty much true for everyone I've ever been to.
What What's your opinion of an event like this?
Well, I'm glad to see that it's apparently going to go forward because there's been talk about all champion hunts, battle of the breeds, and things of similar nature for God, as long as I've been snooping around on the internet, hunting sites.
Yeah, yeah. There's at one time, wasn't you on the board of the OMCBA?
Yeah,
Or yeah,
yeah, for um, 2 terms, I think it was.
2 terms.
Well, the better part of 2 terms, I think I came in right somebody's term started, or I can't remember who it was or the reason why they had to step down or step away, but then I got took their position for a couple of years and then got reelected. And I think that then before that, I was in all the board meetings at the Colorado Bull Drive for a couple of years.
Yeah. Uh, so did you notice how the OMCBA wasn't giving points, champion points, and there was a couple of registries that was? What's your opinion on that? Because you'd have been a board member back in.
Well, I remember like it's yesterday. So we were all, I wasn't a board member, I don't think, at that time. I was a column writer,
Yeah.
but either before or after, I want to say after the board meeting broke up, me and several other folks were sitting out in the main clubhouse right outside the board of directors room. And Dave Carr, who had been a long time college writer and vice president, and I think he was board of directors at one point in time. He was from Carthage, Tennessee, school teacher, if I remember correctly. He's dead. Um, but we got in a big debate about that because I told him, I said, look, people come a long way, like me and some of the folks sitting around the table talking here. And I said, rather than getting, if we're lucky, a plaque, it'd be nice to have points to show. And I
Yeah.
said, we did the points much in the same manner that NKC would give 1 through 10. I mean, you only got like for 8, 9, 10, I think you only got, what, 10.5 points, something like that.
Yeah.
So I said, look, and of course the pushback was that'll cheapen the titles. There'll be people, making squirrel change not too quick. And I told him, I said, you still have to have a first place win.
Yeah.
And, and so David, I remember again, like it was yesterday, he was just the that never happened. That you might as well get that out of your head. That's never gonna happen. Well, fast forward about I don't even think it's a year, but me, James Mentor, Dan Wilson, and a few other like-minded folks from the boards, we had to vote to make that happen. And it did. So I had good fun with Dave. After that, before he passed, I said, "Yep, don't never say never, Dave."
Yeah. Oh, what happened?
Hey, just
We
call
lost
him.
him.
Call him on your cell phone and put him on speakerphone. You want to try that? It can't be no
Yeah,
worse.
but he can't hear you. Like, I'm the only person that can hear you.
Oh, I got you.
I don't
We can
know.
three way, or so
There's
I don't know.
something. I don't know. There's something going on with the convo here. I
Uh,
couldn't hardly hear him. I don't know. I don't know what the situation was, but where'd you go?
uh,
Oh,
trying to do a different screen.
I'm with you. Can't hear nothing, Phyllis. I know. I don't know what's going on with. He said he was on Wi-Fi, and I don't know why we could only hear about every other word. Man, I hate that too, because he's a wealth of knowledge. I feel like I'm listening. Drake says, I feel like I'm listening to Egyptian hieroglyphs.
Yeah, if Egyptian hieroglyphs could make a sound, that's what it was.
Yeah, yeah. Man, I hate that too. He was very
Well,
good.
hey, I mean, everybody else can
Yeah.
hear him. I can hear it. Like, I mean, if he calls and you have it on speakerphone, he just can't hear me, right?
Well, I tell you what we could do. I could do us a three-way right quick. We can do that. You won't use yours on speaker.
I got you.
How about that?
Yeah.
So,
See, that sounds good.
yep.
Tell me I've been permanently removed from the session.
I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna three-way you with Shane, and then we're gonna try to. You won't be able to be on the screen, but we're gonna see. I don't know what's going on with the internet, but we couldn't hear about every third word. Shane, call me right quick, and then I'll three-way y'all over. So I'm sorry. We're just trying to do best we can over here.
That's all right. Like I said,
I'm afraid
I don't understand why.
if I'm on there, it's gonna
quit, and then I went back to rejoin again, like I did the first time around. And he said, "You've been permanently removed." I tried a couple more times, and it still was telling me that.
Huh.
Dude, we can hear him super good now. Let's just let you be a
Well, what
you're gonna be a.
First was Cody tried to get me. An ad came up and interrupted. That's what interrupted the broadcast from the damn platform, Evu or Emu or whatever the hell it's called.
Yeah. All right, we got you good now. We can hear him a lot better now. So I just got you on speakerphone sitting here, so we're good. I'll just relay the information that Shane says, I guess, through their headphones. But so we had put on there the DNA, and the DNA has been a big deal. Do you think? What's your opinion? And do you think that the OMCBA or breed registries will ever go to DNA?
Well, that's a long story with which I am, at least back 10 years ago and longer, was very familiar with. So I always advocated for DNA profiling of breeding pairs. In other words, Cody, if I had a female and wanted to breed to your male dog, then to get from some point in the future, and I always said, well, to make it simple, let's start January 1st of whatever year it's going to go into effect.
Yeah.
To announce to the membership that, hey, if you want to have a litter of OMCBA registered puppies, both parents need to be DNA profiled. And those profiles need to be on register with the organization. We're not going to go back and dig up old dogs of questionable or allegedly questionable origin. We're going to be looking forward so that at some point, if we do that, if we make that the policy or the rule of the OMCBA, at some point in time, unless you old like I am now, but if you were, reasonably young, active member and hunter in the organization, at some point in time before you die, my hope was and goal was that you could hold a set of OMCBA papers in your hand and know that there was DNA proof of parentage for every dog, or substantially every dog listed on there.
Yeah.
Because dogs don't live as long as people, obviously. So at some point in time in the not too distant future, there would be on record DNA profile, not going back in ancestry DNA, that kind of stuff. I'm talking about just that again, if I wanted to breed a female under this scheme proposal to your dog, both of our dogs would have to be DNA profiled, and a copy of that profile would have to be on record such that the puppy registration could take place.
Mm-hmm. More or less like super stakes.
Yeah, I guess from what I understand or what I recall. And then now that doesn't mean that the puppies, if since it's my female, I'd be selling the puppies under my example. That if I sold a puppy to old Joe down the road, and old Joe down the road didn't really even care, he wasn't going to ever register the dog permanently in any registry, much less the OMCVA, then he wouldn't have to register his dog. It's only if any of the offspring out of my dog and your dog were going to be used to breed in the future, and those puppies out of them, the grand puppies, in other words, would be OMCB registered. The parents would likewise have to be DNA profile. That was my simple proposal, and that furthermore, because it was a large organization back when all this talk was taken on, that we could probably get some sort of discounted rate by the particular DNA profiling lab, of which there are many. I'm sure there's a lot more even now around the country. But if we kind of had one that we could develop a relationship with between the OMCPA and that lab, you could probably get some sort of discount off the basic price. So it kind of that never panned out. But my own experience with DNA was years ago, Brent Wood's hardwood dagger dog was at my house because he and I had talked about doing some multiple sire breedings.
Yep.
So I had two of my females and Apache were 3 of the 4 dogs, and then I had Dagger at my house. And so what I did was, for a period of, as long as the females would breed, so it was probably a better part of 5 days a week, maybe more. I would come home from hunting, and I'd throw Apache in with one of the females that was in heat, and then I'd put Dagger in with the other female. Mm-hmm. And I'd take them back out and put them back in their respective kennels, the boy dogs. And then, or sometimes at night, I'd swap them up. Then I'd put Apache in the other female's kennel, take Dagger and put him in the other one. And this went on, like I said, for basically a week, you might as well say. And both females caught. And so one of them had 6 puppies, I think, and the other one had 4. And so what I did was I took one of the females, because Dagger had already been DNA profiled.
Yeah.
And so I got a swab kit, I can't remember which. Hell, I still got the profile somewhere around the house here, but I sent Apache's swabs off while we were waiting once I knew the females had caught, I went ahead and got his done. And then I got 2 more kits for each of the litters. And in the meantime, because I didn't want anybody accusing me of swapping straws amongst the litters and the puppies and this, that, and the other, Joey Thompson, who was my probably most regular hunting buddy in those days, I sent one of the females out to his place out in Utica, Mississippi.
Yeah.
And so she had the puppies, and I went out there to Joey's house with one of the DNA swab kits, litter kits, and he and I went ahead and started swabbing those puppies. And we had just some little old recipe cards, little 3x5 or whatever kind of cards.
Yeah.
What we did was we just took a Sharpie and we wrote one of the dogs' name was Rita, so we had R1 through. She only had 4 puppies, so through R4, and we took a picture of the puppy with the designation, the R-1, etc.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I got back home, my wife and I did the same thing using the same card section. My female then was called JoJo, and did the same thing, and she had 6 puppies. And so now both litters, and so I sent off the swabs and got them back, got the reports back. And it wasn't a 50-50 split, but each female had, like, I think Rita's was 50-50. I think she had 2 out of Dagger and 2 out of Apache, as I recall, as proven by the DNA. And then I think JoJo had 4 out of Apache and 2 out of Dagger, if I remember correctly.
Really?
And so I had got all that together, and then I went ahead and sent the litter registration forms, because there were two different litters, so 2 forms, with the DNA profile results to what was the name, Miss Judy Poor. Mm-hmm. And wasn't but a couple of days later, I got a call. She said, Mark, she said, I think you're going to have to come up to the board meeting because they're not wanting to let me register these pups without having a meeting. I said, okay, I figured as much. I'll be there. And so I went up to the board meeting, and good Lord, I had the worst headache of my life after that board meeting was over. To make a long story short, there was substantial pushback in the boardroom.
Really?
And to be honest with you, if it wasn't for Harold Smith, so Harold didn't say a whole lot during a lot of the meetings. Mm-hmm. Until he wanted to or needed to, and so we'd been all the way around the room, and things got very contentious, and so it finally got around to Harold, or Harold asked to speak up, and he said, look, he said, I'm not sitting here listening to y'all for the last 45 minutes, you ain't hearing. He said, now, I'm not saying that this would be something I do. I'm not saying that we should make a habit of allowing this to be done. He said, but the man has done his homework. He's shown you exactly what these dogs are out of. He said, I think I understand what the paperwork shows and all that. He said, what in the hell are we talking about and doing? Register the fellas' pups. Much more yang back and forth. And finally, they had a vote, and it was agreed to allow them to be registered, but then it would not ever be allowed again. And I don't think that's been overturned since whatever year that was. And I have to go look it up, but that's been a long time ago.
Really? So they didn't want to allow you to register them dogs?
Do what now?
So they didn't want to allow you to register them dogs?
Oh, no, well, there were some of them that, I mean, I probably could have had a date with their wives more readily than I could get them to agree to register pups. It was a close vote. But after Harold spoke up, because Harold, back in them days, he was kind of a big wheel. Had been in the cur dogs a long time. Had old Banjo and dog here, world squirrel champion on. And so he eventually spoke common sense wise and persuasive wise to get my puppies registered. But like I said, I think unless something's changed and I missed it, because I'm not as plugged in as I used to be, and I ain't been up there in a long time. But I may have the honor or dishonor, however you want to look at it, of having the only 2 litters of puppies that were multiple sire litters.
Yeah.
That were registered based upon DNA proof.
So more or less what you're saying is that they didn't like the fact that you changed up their whole game and brought out something new.
Well, they didn't. Some of them's objection, in fairness to them, if I can remember correctly, some of the objection is, I don't understand why you would do that anyway. And I said, well, that's really not what we're here to talk about. We're here so I can get my 2 litters of puppies registered. I said, but now that you've asked, I'll share with you why I did it. I said, my understanding is it's not uncommon in other sporting dogs, including hounds, I guess, in some registries. I said, but one of the reasons why is you can see quicker which crosses reproduce better. Because if you can breed the same female to 2 different sires, then you'll have an idea which hit and which didn't.
So out of them 2, which one reproduced better?
To be honest with you, I think it was, I don't, because there are only 4 out of Rita.
two out of Apache and then Rita died not too long after that. So, as a small sample size, and some of them out of both litters and both sires, made some decent dogs. Now, I can't give you names of any, not champions or world beaters or nothing, nothing like that. But I mean, I don't know of any of them that just made outright duds.
So you didn't see, they was pretty similar. You didn't see one that just threw a lot better pups than the other out of her?
No, but I'll say this. Dagger wasn't bred, in my estimation at least, as often as he should have been.
Yeah.
For a variety of reasons. One is when Brent Wood that, had him until he died, I guess. Brent just really wasn't into the whole stud dog thing. Brent didn't care if he ever got bred at all, to be honest with you. And Apache was bred a good amount of times, but it wasn't like I was, pushing for that. I mean, if you back in the day had wanted to breed your female to him, and I knew you and knew of the female, I mean, you could breed your female out there if you wanted to, but there's a lot of folks would come within 10 miles of my house probably because of me, maybe, or their own reasons. I can't answer folks, but Dagger was in the limited amount of breedings, that I know of. I mean, he produced some very nice dogs, which is not surprising. I mean, Dagger was a very well bred dog. I mean, he was out of cause and. Dixie, as I recall. Danny Wilson's Dixie dog, who's had a tag, and Bayou Whitney. So, I mean, lots of really good dogs there.
So Stephen Dale said ask him the difference at 6 months old. Is there a joke there? Or?
Do what now?
Stephen Bradham said ask him if he could see the difference at 6 months old. Is there something to that, or?
Yeah, he tried to be funny because one of Stephen's tired, and it wasn't just unique to him. A lot of people, again, for reasons that were all their own, but I ain't no dumbass either. I got pretty good reasoning skills. A lot of folks their clapback to me, Cody, over the years was, well, all you do is buy dogs, and you sell some puppies, but you don't ever take them from tip to tree. And I'm thinking, well, okay. I don't haul my own trash to the dump. I don't police my own neighborhood or put out fires with my neighbors and all that either. I mean, everybody's got my kind of value. And I'm not going to begrudge somebody who we all know people who have no use for a own finished dog.
Yeah.
The whole thing is they want to take a dog from a weaned pup, and as soon as it gets to doing what it was bred to do consistently on its own or in company in the back 40 or 3 states away, they're done with it. And it's somebody, and I'm glad for people like that because that's not my cup of tea.
So
I had one dog.
So he apparently wasn't trying to go that direction. He wanted to know if you could actually tell at 6 months old without knowing the DNA which one was the daddy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. So I could tell as soon as, you can tell a lot about a puppy tonight. As soon as they get up on all 4 legs, their ear holes have opened up and their eyes have opened up. Once they start moving around and interacting with their litter mates,
yeah,
and me and my wife and whoever else, you can tell who's out of who. My wife and I talked about that because eventually I brought Rita's puppies home too.
Mm-hmm.
And so we had them around there. Plus, like I said, I would see Joey Thompson, what seemed like, every weekend. And I'd go out there at his place and check on the puppies too when they were still being nursed and all that. But when it came time to sell them, they all made their way back to my house. And then even when we had them all in there kind of together and what have you, you can tell. I mean, there are certain characteristics. If you know your dogs and you know where they come from,
yeah,
then you can tell. You can tell traits about them. They start showing. Steve and the other folks will get a kick out of this. So. the first couple of puppies we raised out of my own females, out of Apache, when I got him, was my wife had come in from food with them once they were up moving around. We feed them out in the yard, let them run around out in the pasture and all that. She come back in there looking like she was running through a briar patch. Her ankles would just be all tore up. And I told her, I said, look, I said, these are Apache puppies now. I said, you're going to have to get a handle on them.
Yeah.
Because they play rough with one another. But you can also tell just there's different traits about, I hear some of them back.
Is that you hear that in the background, Shane?
I don't hear anything in the background.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Is it a buzzing or something?
No, I can hear a bunch of feedback.
You can?
Yeah.
Yeah. What about now?
No.
Yeah, that
That
makes
better?
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, almost too close to my mic.
If you know the dogs that they're out of, you've been around them enough, you can start telling I would say even before the 6 month mark. I used to always laugh too that if I went somewhere, hell, if I even run up on somebody over in the Delta that was out hunting, and I got a chance to watch what's hunting and all that, they didn't have to tip me. I knew if it went back to something that I was familiar with, either my own dogs or some of Danny's dogs or even some of like, you're talking about tonight, like Lloyd Herring and Mutt Beard and Todd Pound, some of those Kimmer dogs and all that. I mean, if you study the dogs, you can know without, I could be walking around there at Jamestown, I could tell you what a lot of the dogs are just by walking around looking at them.
Yeah.
Body shape, head, ears, head. You could get, if you study the dogs, like I tried to back in the day, I wouldn't know much days, but you could see who was out of what, or at least have a really good idea.
Yeah. That's interesting. So, we do have a question. So you had a cabin over there in the Delta to change subjects.
Yep.
Did you ever experience any losing of service over there?
You're talking about like dormant service?
No, like where you're dormant.
No. I seen that on your list you sent me. I didn't know were you talking about cell phone service or dormant. Now, for years I didn't have a cell phone, but my wife put it in. That got me a ceasefire account because I hunted a lot by myself over here. But now as far as Garmin signal, I don't recall having much issue with Garmin signal.
It's the Louisiana
we call it
boys.
the Delta Triangle.
Yeah, I seen that on the outline or the topic for this or whatever thing we might talk about today. I saw where Cody put that on there, but when I had what was the first generation was like a
Astro.
yeah. The little gray one. It wasn't near as good as the other one I had that had all the shocking and toning and
Yeah,
all.
those are the alphas. Yeah.
Yeah. I never had much problems with that one, and I never did have. Well, I had this little fold down. I'm trying to think of Bob Osmond, who did, but I had like a little fold down that then would fold out like an old car antenna.
Mm-hmm.
And I used it sometimes at night, if the dogs got kind of out of pocket or whatever. But I never really had that much problem with it.
I know 4 people for sure that's lost reception during a hunt. Me being one of them. And I was just curious to see, because I know you've been over there and hunted the Delta a good bit.
Oh yeah, I mean, look, long before I had the cabin, I had my camper over at 10 Mile over on Spanish Fort Road on the eastern edge of the forest. So I had the cabin for 15 years, so thereabouts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You ever had any issues with deer dogs? With deer hunters running deer dogs out there?
Yeah, which ironically enough, one of the most uh, almost unfortunate encounters was when I was president of the Mississippi Hunting Dog Association. And I was in the vast majority of our membership, obviously, was deer dog guys. So I'm over there hunting one night. I think Joey was at the cabin. I said, hey, look, I'm going to go make a quick coon round by myself. And I think I took Apache 2 and Mindy. Mindy was just starting to really kind of come on at night.
That was the little dog, wasn't it? Mindy?
Mindy was the little bitty one. Yeah, bitty.
Yeah.
Out of Lucky Hank and my old Mandy dog that I got from Brent, because he got Mincer Streaks Mandy. And so I go down there, and I go down to the green tree just south of my cabin down there, pull in the parking area and walk down the levee and cut them loose, and they wind up treating down there to the left. And just about the time I'm getting in there, making my way down a real thick spot, it was kind of they cut over in there, and it was trying to grow up, and I was trying to find my way in there and get to them. All of a sudden, I hear some guy hollering back behind me, like he's on the levee, but farther than where I left off the levee. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, the dog's kind of hushed because I guess they're thinking it's me or something. I don't know what the hell they're thinking. So I'm hollering at, get your ass on the tree, this, that, and the other. She stayed there, but Mindy, like I said, she was just kind of getting used to going out at night, and she kind of cut off and I guess run that way. I eventually put 2 on the leash, started walking straight out to the levee, and I'll be damned if I didn't come up on that guy. And Mindy was standing there looking at him like, who are you?
Yeah.
I wanted to beat her ass. I wanted to beat his ass. And it turns out that, because he had come in after me, apparently. And he seen my truck there, and I always leave my tailgate down, and I leave the dog box door slung open where somebody would have to lick the fence, know that I'm back in there hunting, okay? And he's out there just hollering at the top of his lungs. I can't remember the damn dog's name. I knew it for years. But he's hollering for a lost deer dog. And he tries to talk to me, but I'm not feeling very charitable. And but finally, he just persists. And I said, all right. I said, did you not see that big-ass Dodge truck parked down there by the gate? He said, well, yeah. He said, but I think my dog's in here. I said, well, I don't know, partner, if your dog's in here or not. I said, but I know that I was in here with my dog. And I said, I've got a young dog I'm trying to work on. And I said, you just completely ruined this. He said, oh, I'm sorry, man. He said, but, and I think he either did or was wanting to ask me would I stay and help him look for his dog. I'm thinking, partner, you don't want me out here looking for this dog because I'm mad as a wet set in him right now. I said, I will shoot you.
And that's how you met Stephen Bradham.
No, this was probably, no, I don't think I met Stephen until probably 5, maybe more years later. Like I said, I had just gotten Mindy from Danny Wilkinson, and she was a nice young squirrel dog then. He had done, he had done a lot with her, and he was a natural. But like I said, I had in my head I wanted to coon hunt her, and I'd taken her a couple of times with 2 to kind of get her started. Mm-hmm. And things were going along according to plan. Man, they rolled in there, they were sounding good, and all of a sudden this idiot, he couldn't have been through the woods up on the levee. Hell, he couldn't have been, because they treed right off the levee. They must have run the coon down, tracked down the levee, and then when the coon bailed off, they went out down there after it. He couldn't have been like damn 75 yards. If it'd been daylight, I could have seen him from the tree they were on. He's standing up there on the levee, and I'm thinking, you fool. So that was one of, and of course, everyone's being at the cabin, in those series of cabins where mine was, it's kind of the only civilization around there, that when they couldn't find them, it was not uncommon. I'd go out Sunday morning to lock the gate behind me to go on back home after a weekend of hunting, and there might be a damn deer dog laying out there in the yard or in the ditch or whatever, all emaciated, run down. Ain't no telling how long they'd be out there. And occasionally, same thing with hog dogs. You'd have some of them that kind of gravitate because I'd have my dogs underneath the cabin, in a kennel, and other people. There was two older gentlemen from Philadelphia, Mississippi, that hunted hounds. One of which I remember he was kind of a red bone fancier and all that, so they'd have dogs up there too. So there were dogs, and like I said, it was the only kind of houses or cabins, in that area for a long ways around back in the day. So the dogs would kind of show up there, I guess, looking for food and water or what.
Well, our experience is they don't just show up at your cabin; they show up at any truck available, just to try to hitch a ride.
Well, yeah, like I said, now we'd be out there hunting in the woods sometimes, and they kind of like damn coyotes, kind of off from a distance. They hear our dogs, so you just go shooting at the trees. And then every once in a while they get bold enough to come on in there to the tree. And of course, I never knew what their intent. Most of them were just looking for a friendly face and all that. I mean, I never would be shooting these people's dogs, but if I could get a hold of them, which one reason why they were out there more often than not was because they didn't listen. You couldn't put your hands on them hardly. And so they wouldn't no more come to us, so they just kind of follow us around during our squirrel hunt in the daytime and occasionally at night, too. You look up and you see some old July or something running, slinking through the woods. I'm thinking, what in the hell?
Yeah.
And if I could get my hands on them, of course, and if they had a name caller, I'd dial it right then and there. When I had a cell phone in my hand, I'd try to call it more often than not and go straight to voicemail or somebody else who's an old caller. Hell, I even had one old caller one time. I called his number, and he acted like I was bothering him, like I was lying to him. I said, man, I didn't pull your name out of a hat. I'm looking at a dog collar that I've got with a dog on the other end of it. It has got your name and number. Well, I don't know nothing about that. I ain't been over there. I said, well, somebody put your collar on this dog then.
If it ain't yours, they left the name collar on.
Like I said, he got full belligerent with me there one day. One old guy did years ago. I can't remember where he was from or what have you. I'm thinking, God, was that old expression, no good deed goes unpunished? I'm just trying to get a dog back to its owner, and he talked to me like I had stolen something he really wanted. But he damn sure wasn't interested in getting that dog back.
That's a fact. Oh. So...
Which, again, if the thing was top notch, he wouldn't have left there without the dog in the first place. So it told me that he didn't lose any sleep over leaving that dog out in the woods over there on the national forest.
Ain't no doubt. So we do have a question for you. Mr. Lee Fairchild says, what's your opinion on quality of dogs today compared to 20 years plus ago?
The quality of dogs?
Yes.
Well, let me say this. I did go with Robert Brown and his coon dog down. He come over and picked me up this past season because he's from Monticello, where I got to camp. And he did take me out with a Drover, I think is the dog's name.
Yep.
Anyway, I got to see Drover go. So I did go with a tree dog this past hunting season. I didn't go at all the year before that. The 2024 season we're moving. So I haven't been with any regularity, and damn sure hadn't been any hunts, which is one of the things I enjoyed most about going to the hunt, win, lose, or draw, is that you got to see dogs from around the country, and certainly around the southeast United States, and kind of, there was a time when you couldn't rattle off, a well-known dog, or you struggle to rattle off the name of a well-known dog that I didn't get to go with. Hell, even if I got put out of a hunt, I'd go up there at Jamestown. I'd go guide other people's casts just because I wanted to see who had what. If I'd invite myself if they'd have me to go see a particular dog that I heard a lot about. But as far as the quality of the dogs, I mean, I would imagine. I mean, when I was actively doing it, guys, it seemed to me like the quality got better.
Yeah.
It seemed like maybe it was just wishful thinking, or like I think I told you the other night, Cody, about my experience with getting the chance to hunt with Cos when Jimmy Crocker owned him, and then making a Friday before the hunt, just stretch their legs hunt with Adam Loudon when I think he's still in high school, and Apache was like 2 years old, something like that.
Yeah.
I would go with dogs like that because I was looking for something. Not that I came from a background with hounds and harder tree and tree dogs, but it just was something that I preferred. And so if I heard that somebody had a short enough winded up on the tree and tree like their tail was on fire and their butt was catching, I would make it a point to try to go watch it in the woods.
Yeah.
And so it seems like there was a little bit more. Most of the really good dogs when I first started going to hunts were snappier, mostly street bred dogs. They're real fast, but didn't have a whole lot of what I call tree power to them. I mean, they were tree enough that obviously you could get to them, and they tree consistently. You have to put the 2 on them or nothing like that. But but the biggest concern that I had, and I think we saw a little bit of a rise in it when I was going up to Jamestown regularly between like 2003 and 2014, there seemed to be more interest in competing for the combination award and going and participants in the coon hunts.
Mm-hmm.
And the great irony is that when the OMCBA was first founded, if you talk to some of the old timers, especially like when it was at Lake Francis before they even had the Jamestown clubhouse, and even the first World Hunt, down in the Delta over there at 10 Mile off Spanish Fort Road, where I had the camper. That was a coon hunt only the first year. The first OMCBA World Hunt, I don't even think they had a damn squirrel hunt.
Really?
So wow, I didn't know that. Now I think the very next year, I think they did 2 years in a row, like 91 and 92, or 92 and 93, somewhere around there. But coon hunting was the thing because cur dogs, a lot of guys, because hides, back in the early years, hides could actually, supplement your income, pay for your Christmas, whatever you want to call it, because the hide market was still. But now we done got so PC that you can't hardly give away a damn coon hide now. Even a nice plush one from north of the Mason-Dixon.
Yeah.
Because the fur market is just the bottom's dropped out of it. But a lot of folks did that to kind of supplement their income or what have you. Down here, as y'all know probably, I mean, you can get a coon. The meat is worth a whole lot more in Mississippi than a hide ever was. I mean, back when I was coon hunting regular, I mean, I always gave them to the same old fella up in Canton, and he would sell them out of his little old store up there. But I mean, even if it was summer coon during the summer season, little old small, probably 3 to 5 pound coon, he could sell that for $10. But then when the season got going good in the fall and the winter before the season was over with, I go over there to the Delta, man, and get some of those, at least for us down here, larger ones.
Yeah.
And they sell these things every day for $25, $35, especially around the holidays and bowl season and all that kind of stuff.
That's pretty interesting. So there was a market for eating it down there.
Oh yeah, man! I traded one in Rolling Fort for an inspection sticker one time.
For an inspection sticker?
Yeah, Joey Thompson had run out of shotgun shells. Bless his heart, he had to go to the Napa Auto Parts store as you're going north out of town on 61. They had a little sporting goods section in the back of it, which is about the only place you could get shotgun shells, rather than driving back to Vicksburg or going into Greenville or something like that. So he run out of shotgun shells, and so we ran in town to eat at the little cafe there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he said, look, before we go back to the woods, I got to get me some shotguns here. So I was sitting out there in the truck waiting on him. And they got a tire shop right off the back corner of it. And some black guys come walking up there that worked in the tire shop. And they got to come hanging out around the truck. We just chit-chatting. And one of them peeked over in the bed of the truck because we had been at Twin Oaks that morning and killed a daytime coon. And he got the eyeball in that coon. He said, hey, man, he said, what you going to do with that coon? I said, I don't know. What you want to do with that coon? He said, well, he said, I sure like to have it. And about that time, his buddy come over there, hanging on my outside mirror on the driver's side, and he happened to look down at the corner. He said, he said, well, before you leave here, you need to come in here and get an inspection sticker. We do that here. I said, well, I paid that coon for that inspection sticker. He said, oh no, the boss man will fire us if we do that. I said, well, you must not want this coon too bad. Get back away from my truck. He said, well, hang on. Then he run back in there and he got an old Bendix brake pads boxes. So he come walking around the building and threw that coon up in there and ran around back behind and put it in his truck. And so that's that. And then the other boy come out and gave me an inspection sticker back when we had to have.
Doing some trading.
And that's a great story. That's a great story. Well, then me and Daddy, my dad come over one time. I think it was around Thanksgiving, whenever it was. He come over there, and again, Joey Thompson was with us. So we run into the old Sunflower, closed down now, the old Sunflower grocery store to get some groceries to take back, stock up the camp for the hunting trip. And we've been in there shopping, come back out, and again, same thing. But this fella is big as my truck. He's standing there hanging all over the bed of my truck. And, of course, I'd already had that experience up at the Napa Auto Parts store. I said, hey. He said, yeah, man. He said, what you going to do with that coon? I said, well, I don't know. I said, how bad you want it? He said, well, I got to know first how long it's been dead. I said, well, you reach in there. I said, it ain't going to bite you. He is dead. I said, we just killed it this morning. And he said, ooh. He said, I'd sure like to have that one to put in the pot this afternoon. I said, Thanksgiving and all coming up. And he was standing between my truck in about a late 70s, early 80s Lincoln Town car. I'm talking about one of the big old blue ones now,
yeah.
About a half a block long. And I said, hey, man, I said, it's a holiday. I said, you seem like a nice fellow. I said, just reach in there and get that coon. He said, are you sure? I said, yeah, you welcome to it. So he swung over the driver's side back door of that Lincoln Town car, and I kid y'all not, he swung that thing around twice, let it go. You could hear it hit the far side, passenger side back door, and just landed in the floorboard or the seat or whatever. He cranked that thing up and hit like he was going to the races. He couldn't get on fast enough to put that coon.
So there is one story that I want to clear up. What is this that Randy Gary told me?
All right. So here's the actual story, because you can't believe I wouldn't let Randy Gary tell me what day of the week it is if I didn't have a calendar sitting in front of me. So here's the real story. So years ago, Randy come down to the Delta, and he was going to catch up with some of us and shoot. I can't remember what episode or DVD number it was or all that, but he came down there with his camera stuff, and he wanted to get some footage. And this was back, it's before I even had the cabin, so it tells you, I know it was before it had to be between 2005 and 2010, because I was staying in the camper over at 10 Mile. And
for a Fern Fangs video.
Yeah, for a Fern Fangs, exactly, for a Fern Fangs video. And Jonathan Davis, who was the big old heavyset boy from Arkansas, who had gotten a dog from the Clarks.
Was his name Lazarus?
Huh?
Was the dog's name Lazarus?
No, I'm trying to think of that dog's name. He had old parrot mouth. I mean, he wasn't much to look at. He had way too much jukebox in him to be a good-looking dog. Trinity. That's what the dog's name was, Trinity.
Trinity. Yeah. I knew it. So you know, like spaghetti westerns, Trinity, Lazarus. That's where I was thinking. Yeah,
I
same
can't
dog
remember.
I was thinking about.
The Clarks had a
Same dog I was thinking about.
big old long.
Dog with no name.
Yeah. Xfinity, aka Nobody. My name is Nobody. I can't know.
Yeah. Same thing as what I was thinking. I just said the wrong thing.
So Jonathan Davis had made it down there also. This was like before everybody else. This was like, I'm going to say on Thursday or Friday night or whatever. And I had just started coon hunting Apache. And, of course, Apache being the dog from up north, we had a little bit of a adjustment period on fooling with armadillos. And I was close to getting him broke, but not quite. So we go out to Twin Oaks, and if y'all know where the gas line is up there,
I do.
in the back. All right, so we parked right there at the opening of the gas line. Like I said, I remember it like it was yesterday. And we cut old Apache loose, and he runs down that gas line. First he bails off on the left-hand side, goes in there, and he trees it. I can't find nothing. And, of course, Jonathan Davis, weighing about 300-plus pounds, he's slow as Dale Christmas. So I felt like we carried him down there, down the damn gas line. We finally get down there. And about the time we're walking back towards the gas line to cast him on again, as soon as I cut this bastard loose, a damn armadillo runs out on the gas line. And Apache takes in after it. And that damn Jonathan Davis got to shooting off his damn world champion armadillo dog. I mean, just a damn magpie in my ear. And I'm thinking, I haven't heard enough of your shit. So he goes across the gas line, finally leaves the armadillo alone after I gave him a little juice around his neck. And next thing we know, he rolls up in there and he trees on this big old oak. Part of the top had fallen out, so there's a bunch of deadfall around the base of it. And I told Randy Gary, I said, hey, come here. He said, you see the coon? I said, no, not yet. I said, but I said, you better make damn sure you got the camera on. I said, because I'm going to break that son gun from sucking eggs and back mouthing my armadillo dog. He said, okay, I'm ready. So we're walking around the tree trying to look. And, of course, he didn't need much to get him excited at the tree anyway. But if you, again, this was the early stages, so I was using a coon squalor with some regularity. And when he heard that coon squalor go off, it's like he turned inside out. And so I told John Davis, I said, hey, I said, big boy, I said, I think I seen, I said, I'm going to hit this coon squalor in just a minute. I said, but you see that big old vine? Because, you know, some of the vines over there at Delta big as some of the trees up at Jamestown. I mean, this vine was born to be huge. He said, yeah. He said, this vine right here? I said, yeah. I said, and it was kind of on the opposite side of the tree from where Apache was. And I said, all right. I said, you ready? And he's kind of stumbling around trying to get to the deadfall to get to the vine so he can shake it. And I hit that damn coon squalor. And that little black brindle dog come around there, slobber from one end to the other. And about the time he grabbed and shook that vine, Apache grabbed him in the crotch. Now, thank goodness for Jonathan Davis that he was straddling part of the deadfall, the top of the tree that fell out. So it was stretched his jeans were stretched kind of tight. Because he had, I mean, like I said, the boy could wear bed sheets for clothes. I mean, he was big back. And so when he grabbed him in the crotch, it didn't get any his genitals or nothing like that, okay? But he castrated. But he jumped, it didn't go well, which would have been a good thing for humanity, but we'll leave that for another day. But anyway, so we did, and the boy he fell down. And he kind of spooked the dog, because the dog was sitting there trying to figure out, he doesn't know what's going on here, because he used to big old people just falling out around the tree around him. And so he's sitting there steady bouncing on his front feet and barking all that, and Jonathan Davis goes a holler, get him off of me. He's trying to kill me. I think he's feeling like everything but calling for his mama. And so Randy Gary is filming the whole damn time. And I told him, so I went over to leashed Apache up and I reached down there and helped him up. And I said, look, I said, now, can we reach an agreement that I've heard the last out of what a fantastic armadillo dog I got? He said, yes, sir. He said, I won't mention that again. So we had a good laugh about it. Had some good hunts. Randy got some good footage, squirrel hunting that made it onto one of the DVDs. So flash forward, the next hunt at Jamestown. Big D shows up there. And we all congregated at the old clubhouse and stay in the old clubhouse. But I've been over helping with the hunt, doing whatever. I was walking from the new clubhouse to the old clubhouse, and I see there's this big old gathering up there, like somebody's giving a sermon or giving away free money or something. So I walk up there, and I say, hey, what the hell y'all doing up there? And did you know that fat fool had them breeches out, spread out like he was getting ready to put them up on the clothesline, showing everybody and their brother that where the mean devil dog Apache had tried to castrate in the Delta a few months earlier.
He was warning everybody.
I grabbed him by the nape of the neck, took him back behind the old clubhouse, and I said, let me tell you one damn thing. I said, if you think that dog scared you, I said, if I ever catch you sitting around running your mouth, because I know you probably ain't telling nothing close to the truth about what happened and why it happened, I said, I'm going to do worse than that dog you thought that dog was going to do to you. I said, to give me them damn jeans, I went and threw them in a burn barrel and set them on fire. So he didn't get to carry them back to Arkansas and tell that story.
I want to say, was that Trinity dog? Was he out of that Indian River Jake?
No, he was like, what do they call that damn dog? Fuzzy old dog. Had a
Burlap?
No, not that. He was, I had it in my mind if you hadn't said so. Monroe. Monroe was the daddy, I think. He was a bluish, kind of brindle, long-haired dog. And I can't remember what the mama, I think the mama did go back to maybe some Street Junior and Georgia. That was about Trinity's only. I mean, like I said, the dog wasn't a terrible dog. Now, because Jonathan weighed like he did and lived in Arkansas, the Clarks had gotten the dog where he would road hunt. So if you road hunt the dog now, he was very nice. I mean, treated a lot of squirrels, but the problem was we didn't do a whole lot of road hunting. So certainly back in them days over there.
Yeah.
And so old Trinity was lost as a damn goose. We go walking off out the woods, of which there's no shortage over there. He'd go out there and make you about a 50-yard loop and come back and look at Jonathan. Boy, I tell him, I said, boy, that dog got a lot of hunt trains, don't he, John? That's a big deal. And so, flash forward one of the squirrel hunts, because I still wasn't through with Jonathan, because I thought I overheard him talking about my high-priced armadillo dog. I took him to a spot at Twin Oaks in the daytime over by the gravel pile that I knew everybody was asking, man, why are we going out so early in the afternoon? It ain't time to go yet. We need to wait about an hour. I said, no, come on, let's go. And sure enough, this place had armadillos like they were, dime a dozen. And old Trinity got in there on some. But Jonathan didn't have a shot collar, and so who was glad to get him a shot collar. I said, I'll operate this thing if you want me to. He said, oh, no. He said, you'll kill my dog. But yeah, and that is caught on damn video, that segment of it.
Oh.
And on one, I can't remember which one of the first famous versions of videos it is, but it's on their DVDs, I guess they were back in the day.
So in Jamestown, didn't you used to have some property? Didn't you own property in Jamestown at one time?
No, not. Alan Franklin and the Loudons had a place down on Buck Lane, kind of if you're headed back towards Crossville on 127. It was down there on the east side of 127. And
the talk was that you had property there and that you had trapped squirrels from town and carry out there and turn them loose. So you.
Well, I never saw a whole lot of squirrels in town, to be honest with you. Look, we stopped half a wake if we ever saw so much as a dead possum on the side of the road once we hit the Tennessee line on the way to Jamestown. But no, it was a nice place. When I first started going out there, before they cut in the subdivision at the back side of it, which wasn't bad because they left some big, beautiful, acre and barren oaks out there. But then it was kind of like used as a hunting camp for some folks that lived down that road. But I think Alan Franklin showed it to the Loudons, and then they kind of let me go out there. And so for several years, it was not too far, from the clubhouse. You have to worry about hauling it to get back by deadlines. But I would coon hunt out there too. It wasn't great coon hunting, but there was a No Business Creek ran down in the gully, the holler below it, so it had some water. And it was a good place to go. I mean, I had a lot of good casts out there. But no, I didn't own it or whatever. Matter of fact, I almost got put out from there because leaving out there late one night, the people that had moved down at the very last trailer before you got to the field where you parked to go back in the woods, they had this old mean-ass dog that was bad and chased trucks. He wouldn't come out there in the woods with it. He'd follow you maybe almost to where you parked and then turn around and go back to the house. But unfortunately, that bastard ran out in front of my damn truck leaving out there one night and ran him over. That guy asked me about it like 3 months later. The next hunt I was up there, I would speak to him if I saw him out there. And he said, man, you don't know who hit my dog. I said, man, you got so many dogs, man. I don't know which dog you're talking about, but I do exactly which dog you want. Because he sure did. He ran right out. Because what happened was another dog met him. They had been behind the truck. Then one dog ran up the driver's side and one ran up the passenger side, and they met in the middle and kind of were horsing around. And I didn't see him. I had a big old 3/4 ton Dodge diesel at that point in time, and I just didn't see him. I mean, they met and apparently were horsing around and didn't get out from in front of the truck. Sure no. Now I felt the Well, there wasn't nothing I could do about it. And I went damn sure was going to go knock on the door at like 1 o'clock in the damn morning and say, hey, oh, by the way, I ran over your dog a few minutes ago leaving out here coon hunting. Do you think he killed it? Do you think he killed the dog? Bro, this was a 3/4 ton Dodge 4-wheel drive with a 6.7 liter Cummins in the front of it. That's the gun to kill you if I hit you like.
Well, a lot of times them shit eaters can get run over and they'll flop around the ditch and they'll be chasing cars again. A week later.
Did I know for sure? No. Was I going to stop, turn around, go put my coon light back on and do a full inspection and autopsy? No.
You should have backed over.
I do know this. When I showed up the next hunt up there and I did, speak to the man, he asked me about him. I'm thinking, I didn't know what the hell he was talking about. And to be honest with you, I hadn't thought much about it.
Oh. What?
So your Tree Power Incorporated, when did that come about? That was a partnership of 3 of y'all, wasn't it?
It was just a thing that me, Brent Wood, who at the time had Dagger, and Todd Pounds had Shiloh's Chipper, and I had Apache, and so we were trying to think of ways to, generate a little interest. So we did write a little full cry column, and we would feature like, people would send us like, hey, I got my chip puppy and he's doing well, or I had a good hunt with him this weekend. They'd send us, pictures, and same way with Dagger dogs and Apache dogs. And so we just kind of, get a little buzz going, fill up some space.
I think it was a great, a great marketing deal. And I'm kind of fascinated with the marketing and score dogs and stud dogs and whatnot. But I thought that was a really smart idea and has not been replicated since that I know of.
Well, the old boy that owned Full Cry at the time was somebody that, again, because I was the column writer, I had to work with, him on deadlines and the advertising for hunts and stuff like that. So I had kind of gotten to know Walker was his last name, Terry Walker. And so I kind of got to know Terry being the column writer for the OMCBA. And so then he would also work with me on, because we would take out some full-page ads for, quote, Tree Power Inc., that we called it. And it would have, it would have the 3 stud dogs, but it also have, dogs that had done something recently. They had won a hunt or made champion and this, that, and the other stuff. And he would work with it on a discounted price, to run those ads. So we didn't run traditional stud dog ads like you see a lot of folks saying. That's kind of like a little cottage industry, as I appreciate now, just snooping around on Facebook and what have you. So a lot of folks out there make, really slick kind of ads that people put on the internet and what have you. And back in the day, there were people that were doing it also for the yearbook ads. And so I think actually we put one of them in one of the yearbook along the same time too. But it was just a way to kind of look, Todd Pounds didn't hunt chipper much in many, competition hunts. He did some. Hell, I even handled him, like I was telling Toby the other night. I took him up to Jamestown and come real close to winning the combo award with him the one time I took him up there. But, Dagger had won the world championship, but Dagger was never put in another competition hunt that I recall after he won the world championship. And Apache was kind of retired. I moved on to Mindy and then Two and then Doug and other dogs after that. But he was just kind of, I would pleasure hunting. Somebody wanted to see him, I'd take him over to the Delta or whatever. But, the way it works in the SqDog world is you only as good as your last hunt. And if your last hunt ain't been a couple of years ago, you kind of out of sight, out of mind, because it's kind of the flavor of the week or month.
For sure.
For
sure.
And so it
it's
was
hard
just
to stay relevant.
Hey, we got these dogs, and two of them in Mississippi and one in Arkansas, and we're all three friends. And if you want to, and it worked. I get calls. Todd would get calls. Oftentimes, somebody would call and talk to one of us about the other two dogs. And so it was good just to kind of keep the dogs in people's minds if they were interested in breeding to them.
Yeah, I thought it was a great idea. It's very interesting, but I'm surprised that nobody's tried to do that again.
Nobody wants to write a column.
Well, I think
I used to write a column.
Yeah.
I think Full Cry
And the Full Cry.
Some couple bought it maybe, and it was still maybe back in publication for a while.
They sold it. Yeah, that couple that bought it, I think they went. Didn't they go homestead somewhere? Or, I forget what it was, but they
In Alaska?
they can't do it anymore.
But the problem
somewhere.
But the problem
They sold it to one of the guys that does a podcast.
Well, and the problem is just like most print media, newspapers, magazines, things of that nature. Even when I was writing for Full Cry, that it was old news by the time it came out, because first Squirrel Dog Central, then Squirrel Haters, and then, then down Facebook. I didn't get on Facebook till 2014, I guess.
I was late to the party as well.
And so now, you can find out about where hunts are, who's been doing what, who's got a litter of puppies, who's made this breeding almost instantaneously if you spend much time on there. And so the print media thing was wonderful, for as long as it lasted, but it just kind of got to be kind of outdated, from a technological standpoint and what have you. So that was always going to be an uphill battle. And to be honest with you, I found it. I kept my full price subscription for probably till 2015-ish or thereabouts. So, but it's been almost 10 years since I had one. And to be honest with you, it got to where they were more damn articles in there about stuff that I didn't like. Dachshunds, working dachshunds and stuff like that. I didn't care nothing about, reading about. If I got real bored up there cabin back in the day, I'd bring my Full Cry up there and sit around and look at it on a rainy day or bad night to go coon hunt or something. But it just kind of ran its course. Like again, newspapers. I'm old enough to remember when we actually used to look people's name and number up in the phone book too, but I can't find. I'd have to spend 3 days to find the phone book around here now.
No joke.
Mm-hmm.
So,
do you still have any full cry like with your dog on the cover? Did you keep any? Yeah. Matter of fact, my wife and I were talking about that this past weekend. We were down at the new camp. We were talking about putting some things up on the walls down there, and I've got Neil Malone, one of the guys that he was a black and tan fella that flew with bird dogs for a little while. He's from Vicksburg, Mississippi, and he would come over and hunt with me, especially coon hunt regularly when I first got that cabin. And his wife had kept Apache's cover, and he showed up there one weekend to go hunting, and she'd actually been so sweet as to get it matted and framed and all that, and I got to go. I know where it is in the house. It was on the wall at the cabin up there, and it was stayed in there over the time of the flood. It didn't get wet, but got a little mildew. I need to take it out and get it cleaned up and put it back up on the wall down there at the cabin. Maybe the grandkids understand that somewhere down the road. Maybe they won't. But and also was there's a lifestyle magazine here in Jackson, Mississippi area that had approached me at the hunt dog booth at one of the wildlife extravaganzas. I thought the lady was joking with me. I thought she was just trying to pull my leg. She said that she wanted to write a feature on coon hunting. Well, and I had gone to go to the restroom or look around or go get something to drink or whatever, and I showed back up at the booth, and they said, well, there's your guy right there. And so I chit-chatted with her. She gave me a card, and I thought, yeah, I'll never hear from her again. Sure enough, she called me like the next Monday, and they had a photographer, 2 photographers. Actually, the one that does the duck stamps, I've got a couple of signed prints that he did Apache 2 coon hunting out in Ludlow, Mississippi, and then they sent another guy out there to get some daytime squirrel hunting photos too. Well, my dad happened to be in town then, so I got some good photos, keepsake photos of me, Apache 2, and my dad. And so there was about a 5 or 6 page article spread in there with lots of photos in that magazine. So I've got one of those around here somewhere. Good memories.
So, apparently the full cry is shipping out this week. Ben Sheets with the Tree Talking Time, or Media, Tree Talking Time, I think it's the name, Media. Tree Talking Media bought it, so they're apparently going to be back in production. They're shipping out this week.
Well, I was on the cover of a magazine one time. It's called Pro SqDog Illustrated. Have you ever heard that? No, Where was it? Yeah. Got a... I'm thinking Louisiana, I think. Pro SqDog Illustrated. Pro SqDog? Well, that's what people that were unfamiliar with full cry. I tell them, I said, look, getting your dog on the cover in the SqDog World, SqDog World, is kind of like, making a cover of Sports Illustrated. They kind of understand that, But yeah, it was something that, so going back to Terry Walker, I was talking to him about some deadlines or ads or something for an OMCBA hunt to run. I told him, I said, when are you going to put my damn dog on the cover? He said, well, if you get up there and win something of some consequence, he says, I'll personally drive down there and take the pictures. Well, the 50th anniversary hunt came around. Won the squirrel hunt, won the coon hunt, won the bench show, won the combo dog. And I said, okay. I said, you got your bags packed? He said, yep, I've already heard. He said, what time, when you want me to meet you down there? So the full cry photograph is taken on the walkway to my old house out in Rattler Ferry, Canton area, where it intersects with my driveway. That's where that photo was actually taken to go on the cover. So Terry Walker drove down from down Illinois.
Dang.
Took that picture of himself, which was wow. Yeah, so I felt very honored, very, very honored.
That's pretty cool. He took a lot of time out of his day to do it anyway.
Well, so part of the joke there too about was, he said, Lord, he said, I'll drive down and do yours. He said, but I've only done one other one the entire time that I've owned the magazine. And I said, well, which one was that? Speaking of Battle of the Breeds, so they got together up in like Pigeon Forge or somewhere up there in Tennessee, and they had basically, and it's a cover that used to be on the wall at the clubhouse in Jamestown.
Well, they had the best SqDog breeders in the country.
Yeah, exactly. That's the one.
Yeah.
That's the one. So Terry came down and took that. He said, I'll never do that again. He said, Morrison, he said, be honest with you, he said, there were a lot of assholes assembled at that gathering. He said, but the worst one was Howard Carnison from Tupelo, Mississippi, a black mouth cur man. And I know who that is because when I thought I was into black mouth curs and may have even had one until I found out different, I reached out to him just to kind of pick his brain about cur dogs. And that old man talked to me like I was either equal parts stupid or nosy or what. And he just talked plumb ugly to me.
Hey, we breed them right over here in Tupelo.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, I've seen that. Jody's got a picture of it, or Jody's got the magazine. And had,
well, that was the only other time
that
Terry Walker had gone personally to, and didn't send a photographer, on staff, that he had come down there, and he said, that's the biggest damn nightmare. He said, I thought there was going to be a killing breakout when all them got together.
I talked to Robert one time. I talked to Robert Kimmer one time.
Kimmer.
Yeah,
he was on that cover.
Oh yeah, he was there.
He was real. Yeah. He really was talking. Now I'm gonna tell you what, he's a bit like Wade Hildebrand. He's kind of blunt. I was telling him, my dog got a lot of Kimmer in him. Oh yeah, what is it got? I started naming a few of them off. He didn't really like the dogs I named off, so.
I never met Robert Kimmer. I was a member of the KSBA. Well, I joined the KSBA about the time I joined the OMCA, because back in those days, Lloyd Herring had hunts down in Foxworth area, and I go down there to those. And like I said, the KSBA was kind of a big deal back in in the late 1990s.
Mm-hmm.
And I took out a ad in the first couple years of membership in the yearbook here there and what have you. And after that, when they started coming up with the green paper, white paper, could participate in the big, the world hunts and this, that, and the other, I thought, I'm about done with all that. By that time, I figured out that I would spend my gas and diesel money driving to and from Jamestown, Tennessee, because I did go to a Kimmer hunt outside of Mississippi.
Yeah.
They don't have very many hunts now. Maybe one a year, maybe.
Yeah.
They're more pleasure hunters now. There's a ton of Kimmer dogs over here in Louisiana. A ton of them. A lot of people use them for hog dogs.
Cody and I were talking about this the other night. That Danny Wilkinson, some of his earliest mountain curs, as I recall, were largely Kimmer bred dogs. There's one that he wound up selling to James and David Mincer, called Mincer's Sadie Jane is what they named her. But she was supposedly, I got to see her briefly. She was old as Methuselah. Hell, I think don't live till like she's 15 years or something like that. But she's hunting all. But yeah, Danny, and there were a lot of Charles Sola and some of that money. Yeah, there was always Norman Usi. There were several guys when I started branching out and trying to go to more hunts. Like we would have occasion like a NKC in the morning and a OFCBA in the afternoon, and there were a lot of guys in Louisiana that had a lot of Kimmer dogs. And of course, I think the Kimmer hybrid, which kind of became a thing by the time I started with hers. I think they're trying to recreate streak. Well, the problem is this, and while I never talked to Robert himself, I had multiple conversations with Carl Smith and other older folks that had been around the OMCBA. And so the problem was, as it was explained to me, and it makes perfect sense, was that back in, and I remember this when I was in college, looking at the back of like Field Stream, Outdoor Life, all the major national hunting magazines. If you went back to the classified ads, there were multiple advertisements for paid guided hog hunts up on the Cumberland Plateau around Crossville and Jamestown. Mm-hmm. And the dogs they were using back then were, a large part, timber curs. And so Robert, according to several people, including Carl, had told me that he kind of made a decision that he was kind of going to go in that direction because that's kind of where he saw the future of those mountain curs was, being used for bay dogs, not catch dogs, obviously, in these commercial pay to go, kill your hog. And the problem is,
he missed that one.
The more you breed, it's like I tell people, you want to announce, it's like Robert and Carl are walking down the country road and there's a fork up ahead. Robert took the fork to the right, headed towards bigger game, hog hunting, bay dogs, and Carl took the fork to the left towards small game, predominantly squirrel, but also coon. And, with the benefit of now hindsight, we know which one took the right path because ain't nobody found all up themselves trying to buy timber curs, I would imagine, from Robert and the same to hog hunt with the same volume that Carl and others in the OMCBA sold squirrel dogs.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, they kind of went from being
back to
a general dog. Oh, okay. Yeah, back to the hybrid.
Yeah, so back to the hybrid. So if that's what's going with a breed of dog, a timber cur, then at some point in time, you got to put something back in them to make them more small game worthy. And so by creating these hybrids, breeding them to these mullen size, then they got a dog that was better suited genetically, size-wise, temperament, the whole 9 yards, to be a squirrel dog. So that's kind of the genesis of why they came up with the Kimmer hybrids.
I got you. Yeah. It makes sense, too.
Well, it also told me, too, that you had to be damn sure selective on if you were going to incorporate some Kimmer cur breeding into your program. You need to be damn sure particular as to what you incorporated. You need to find some of those ones that had not been geared towards hog hunting. Bigger game.
My dad had a Kimmer bitch that was a tree and fool. She was a super coon dog, real fast, silent on track, stayed tree for hours. But she wasn't a classy tree dog. She would circle the tree and never put her feet on the tree, hardly ever. And it'd be a path beating around the tree, just a ring around it where she'd been treeing the whole time. She never quit moving, but with but not a classy tree dog.
I can't tell you full-blooded or substantially full-blooded Kimmer cur that I ever hunted with that treed in a style that was pleasing to me. Now, the example I give of why that's not a big deal, if it's not a must-have on your list of tree dog traits, is the chip dog of Todd Pounds. He was about 55 pounds, bigger dog, certainly compared to what I was hunting, in hunting shape. He would go hunt, he'd get treed. He had a big old booming mouth, but when you walked in, and you could hear him from a long ways off, because when you walked in there, he had his butt towards the tree, facing you, because he would know, listening for what direction you were walking into the tree from. So you could, and he wasn't going anywhere, not even remotely. Wasn't out there trailing around or doing this, that. You couldn't walk hardly most times between his butt and the tree itself. He was that close to the damn tree.
Yeah, that might even be genetic.
It is. Gunner does it. He's up and down.
It is. It's highly genetic. Hell, I hunted with one up in damn Arkansas one night. Big old Kimmer cur. And he was the same way. I mean, but he would kind of walk around the tree like he was looking for Indians or something, brother, gonna sneak up on him out there because he walked around with his butt to the tree and almost caused some ruckus with. I was on the Apache that night. He was fine as long as you just, left him alone. And he's sitting there doing this bouncing up and down, and we kept on hearing this growling. Well, we finally got into where the tree was and threw my light up because the young lady that was handling this old Kimmer dog, I can't remember his name. If I said it, y'all, he's in a lot of dog papers. She said, I think that's your dog growling at my dog. I said, well, it may be. I said, but let's get in there and see what the hell is happening. So we get in there, and he was backing up, trying to get Apache spot on the tree, almost like a female trying to get bread. And Apache's like looking at this big-ass grown male dog like, what are you doing? Leave me alone. And so, yeah.
Well, there has been some homosexuality in squirrel dogs within the past couple of years. Like it's been some homosexual squirrel dogs. So that might have been where it started.
Well, I don't know nothing about all that. I just know what I saw, and I'm thinking, and I told that young lady, I said, that's what you've been sitting here rattling around in my ear about. I said, I don't know what we could do. I said, the dog can't help itself. It's just a genetic thing, and that's what you get for hunting Kimmer dog. I said, and you can see my dog's not trying to fight him. He's just trying to say, get your butt out of my face, because I'm trying to treat this coon there. But it was funny, but she was about to. I think you need to, before we got in there and saw what was that, I think you need to withdraw your dog. Okay, I ain't withdrawing my dog till I know what the hell's going on, because I suspect there's more to what you're hearing. And sure enough, when you're in there, and Brent Wood was with me on the cast, he said, Lord, and here's the great thing, too. The dog had the god-awful worst damn tree barking voice. When he first charted a tree in the first tree of the night, I actually looked up in the sky. It was a crystal clear blue, bright blue night, relatively full moon. I thought Canadian geese were flying over y'all. That dog's tree bark sounded like, it's like geese honking over your head. And between all that kind of craziness and trying to put his butt on the Apache's forehead, I'm thinking, Lord have mercy, what have I drawn? Because you just never know what you draw out with.
Oh, yeah. Trying to get bread out there.
Well, that's what if you didn't know better and know that it was a male dog, you would think, look, this female is hot to try. Patty says, no, we hunt tonight, Daryl. We're not doing that.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, there was a cast. I don't know if you are aware of this, but there was a cast where two male dogs were locked up.
Now that's
they both got scratched.
Well, they should have.
They should have. I agree.
Oh.
Out there queering around.
No queerdom out there is allowed.
I can tell you this. I've owned, I've had at my house several, but I've owned two that would not have ever happened to. I would love to see the male dog that would have tried to mount Apache or his son Apache too. That would have been, I'd have paid good money to watch that. That'd have broke it if we're looking at a female, a male, a eunuch, or
Oh, my phone went dead. Well, I guess that's all of that. I was down to 5% at one point. I guess she went on dead. What digga Mark Morrison's full of stories, ain't he?
Now we're back to this.
Now we're back to this. Yeah,
Your
I hate
phone
it.
went dead. You don't have no charger?
Not out here. Boy, he's got
No
some
worries.
stories, don't he?
Man, he's long-winded.
He's a wealth of knowledge for sure.
He is. I enjoyed that. We need to be. Hey, we might have found the root cause of the homosexuality amongst the squirrel dogs. That might have been when it started on that cast.
Apache out there breeding male Kimmers.
That might have been the first time it happened.
Possibly. Possibly.
Yeah, when he said the sound, I thought he was talking about, like, I thought he was gonna say it. Man, that dog started playing some Luther Vandross, like trying to get Apache in the mood or something.
so so apparently Calvin Butte in Louisiana still breeds hybrids.
Yeah. Well, his main stud dog for like not here in the past couple years, but like 10 years prior, his main stud dog. If you look in the pedigree of those dogs, it's a dog named Smokestack.
Yeah.
Smokestack was a daddy to a bunch of them Kimmer hybrids. Smokestack was bred and raised by Jody Mullins. I've got pictures of Smokestack when he's a puppy. He was sold. Jody sold him to Calvin. Smokestack was parrot mouth. But,
What did he say? He looked like one of them jukebox dogs.
So he had too much jukebox in him to be pretty.
God dang. He tough on a dog, ain't he? Look,
So what's left?
well, I have had more people ask me about this puppy deal. And no, Brent Waddell did not get any tickets. So apparently he's winning everything. I guess are we ready for the finale?
I think so. I think we've postponed it long enough.
So since we've had such a big outpouring of interest, I thought, you know what? We need to give, whoever we need to give away more than just a
Yeah.
dog. So we have a
Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
brand new custom dog lead.
Mm-hmm.
And
Woo!
we got a little fur on them.
Yeah, that's what
Brand
I'm talking
new.
about.
Brand new, unworn. 2 of them. Hats. So we'll be drawing
Damn.
four times for this event.
That's what I'm talking about.
4 times. I appreciate everyone that has interest and has, I guess, showed their passion for the Gunner Pup. I've had people telling me they've already named it. So, look, there can only be
Dang,
one winner.
They trying to manifest.
Yeah, one winner. So how do you want to do it, Shane? Do you want to draw for the puppy first and then for the hats and the lead, or do you want to draw for the puppy last?
So if you draw and the name comes out, does it go back in or does it stay out?
I was gonna, if we draw the puppy first, I would pull the name out. If we draw the puppy last,
Okay.
I'll leave the name in, just because I don't want to. The people that only bought one chance, I don't want to take away a chance because they bought a chance to win a puppy.
But then they could win. They could win a puppy and a lead or something like that, or a puppy and a hat, or
Yeah.
well. So there's a couple ways you could do it. You could do the puppy first, and then whatever goes on after that, they win a hat or whatever. Or you could do the hats and the lead first, and if somebody wins a puppy, they would forfeit the hat or forfeit the lead, and then you would redraw for that.
Yes. So this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna draw for the lead first, and then the 2 hats and the puppy last. If for some reason,
All right, let's roll.
if for some reason somebody wins 2 hats, the same person will draw again and give somebody else a shot. But you can, if you win a hat and a puppy, man, it was your day. How about that? So Shane likes the second idea. Dakota likes the second idea. All right, so what we're gonna do is, man, I have got and the whole 9 yards. It was a fun event. That benefits the podcast. Kind of makes it a little bit worth our while to get on here and bring y'all all the action. So, I know there's
And pays for our streaming platform.
yeah, no doubt. So
Yeah, they charge us for it, even though my internet sucks sometimes.
yeah, so I know that however many people was in, there's everybody but one. Just kind of disappointed, but hopefully we got some people, some hats, and some dog leads to make up for that. I will need y'all to message me on Facebook. I'll be trying to message y'all. I'll go to your Facebook page. Address for the hat and the leads. And Michael Lindsay.
It's a
We'll get
$20 shipping fee on the hat.
Oh, I'm going to ship them for free.
Oh, no. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So, man, we've had a good one. We had a lot of information, a lot of stories. So, I appreciate everybody coming on. I'm finna get off here and go eat me some supper.
10-4. Well, everybody have a great night, and peace out.
Peace out.